When we make sentences in Norwegian, we must be careful with the word order. Let's start with a very simple example. The sentence Jeg spiser contains only two words, and they are two parts of the sentence, called the subject and the verb. The subject is the person or the thing, theoretically, that is doing something, and the verb indicates what action is done. In this easy example, I chose a subject that consists only of one word. That's not necessary. It can consist of several words. It can even be very, very long and very complicated. Let's just imagine instead of jeg, we had, let's say, the old man, den gamle mannen. We could say den gamle mannen spiser. Now in this case, den gamle mannen is the person who is doing something, so these three words would be the subject together. Now let's make that sentence more complicated. Let's add information. I'm telling you now what I'm eating. So this is fish, fisk. Jeg spiser fisk. Now the fish is eaten. It's not doing something here, so it is the object of this action, and it is placed after the verb. Again, here the object is consisting only of one word. That's not necessary. It could consist of several words. Let's imagine, for example, the good fish from the North Sea. So all this together would be the object in that case. Up to now, no difference with English, but the verb here is already highlighted in blue because in a minute you're going to see a difference from English, and you should learn already now the golden rule of the Norwegian main sentence, and that is the verb is always at the second place. Whatever happens when your Norwegian teacher calls you at 3 a.m. at night and asks you where is the verb, then you will answer him at the second place. We can still add more information at the end of the sentence. Here, for example, an additional information about the time. It could be additional information about the place, the circumstances, and so on. We would just put this at the end of the sentence. Now, if we want to highlight a certain part of the sentence, like, for example, this additional information about time, I dag. Let's say that we eat fish today, not tomorrow or yesterday, something like that, then we can place this at the beginning of the sentence. But there's already the subject at the beginning of the sentence. So what are we going to do about the subject? We cannot just continue the sentence normally as we do in English, because then the verb would be at the third place. So this is not allowed. So we have to take the subject out of the sentence and put it onto another place, which I here call emergency place, and this is the third place in the sentence. So then we can have the order of the sentence like this: I dag spiser jeg fisk. So you see, whatever happens, the verb is at the second place. When we have two verbs in a sentence, like here, for example, a modal verb and another verb, then only the first verb will be at the second place. The second verb, standing in the infinitive or in a so-called participle, will be at a place directly in front of the object. Now let's make that sentence even more complicated. We want to say now that I do not eat fish today. And this not will be ikke in Norwegian. The placement of ikke is between the verbs. Grammatically, ikke is a so-called adverbial. I don't want to go into detail what that really is, but all these words like ikke, gjerne, egentlig, sjelden, ofte, and so on, all these words are adverbials and they stand between the verbs, so adverbial, between the verbs. I think this is easy to remember. Of course, if there's only one verb, then it will stand after the first verb. So you see, the system of a Norwegian sentence is actually a sequence of places that can be occupied by different words or groups of words. Some of these places are pretty flexible, like the first place. Others are not flexible at all, like the second place. So let's go through this with an example once more. Just an easy one: subject, verb, and object. Jeg drikker kaffe. Let's add an adverbial, ikke. Jeg drikker ikke kaffe, so it would be the same. Jeg drikker ofte kaffe, jeg drikker aldri kaffe, and so on. Or let's put additional information at the end of the sentence, like today, I dag. Jeg drikker kaffe I dag. If we want to highlight this additional information, then we can put it at the first place of the sentence. But remember, the subject will have to leave. It will have to go another place while it will take its emergency place, the third place in the sentence. So, idag dricker jag kaffe. We can also put another piece of information at the beginning of the sentence if we want to highlight it specially. For example, the object. Let's imagine we want to say that we drink coffee and not tea. So it will be kaffe dricker jag idag. But please remember the main rule. The verb will all the same be at the second place. So the subject will still have to take its emergency place. So let's try to fill up all the places in the sentence. For example, idag vill jag ikke drikke kaffe. And let's add still some more information at the end of the sentence, like additional information about the place. For example, här. Idag vill jag ikke drikke kaffe här. So how should you learn this? If you think it's too difficult to remember, like first place, verb, subject, adverbial, and so on, then it might be easier for you to just remember an example sentence, like this one. Idag vill jag ikke drikke kaffe här. If you can remember the sentence and remember the function of the parts of the sentence, then it will be much easier for you. And if you forget about everything that you saw in this video, then you please remember one thing: the verb is at the second place.